JPY, since we had that push to the downside, the market tended up, right? So right now what I'm looking for is if price can retest this zone here, if price can retest this zone, which it did, right? Retest the zone, then immediately break structure. I'll be looking for a tiny confirmation by the newly formed demand area to take price maybe to these supply areas by the higher time frame. So I'm waiting for structure to break here, to break this high by the 1 hour. So 1 hour can switch to bullish. Then I'll take maybe a 5-minute trade down here where if we can catch another sell trade, we can push price maybe to the high or target the 4-hour supply. With that, I'll be waiting for a confirmation where we consolidate maybe by New York, and then by Asia we break the New York consolidation, then push higher. So we sweep the liquidity of the New York session with the Tokyo session, sweep both sides of the liquidity, then we push higher. Then I'll be looking to take the trade up towards the 4-hour supply areas by EURJPY. But if we continue pushing lower, we won't have a trade because right now we are having this range. So we've been ranging here ever since we had this push to the downside. So by EURJPY, I'm not really looking for buys or sales, but if we get a confirmation, we will take our price to the upside, maybe to this area. If not, we just wait to see if a supply area does form to take price lower. And with that, if it does form, I would be looking for a clean break. So I'll be looking for something like this where we completely sweep this whole demand, then we wait for a confirmation here. So something like this, then break, then push lower. So first we need a clean push to the downside that takes out this demand. Then if price breaks, retest towards our supply area of interest, then we're going to look for sales by EURJPY. But as of right now, we aren't taking either buy or sell, but I am waiting for price to break above this high since it's the closest point of interest in which price can react from. Then by EURAUD, if I had to zoom out to the 4-hour, we can see that by the 4-hour, we had this supply area. So if I were to zoom in, we had this supply area here, right? With this tiny doji candle. So if I were to mark it out, this doji candle here, right? Then we broke lower. After that, we reacted from this demand by the 4-hour. So if I were to write it out, we reacted from this 4-hour demand, pushed price higher, but respected the supply more than we did the demand. So as soon as we respected the supply, we tended lower. We tended lower, retested, then pulled back, right? Since we pulled back, if I were to zoom down to the 1-hour, we had this push up, push down, retested our area, then we swept this supply area by the 1-hour. So as liquidity sweep is when like we have a point of interest, we break above it, then we immediately pull back into the range. So we had that pattern right there. So since we have that pattern and we form this demand, price can either react from this candle push down or the extreme area. So right now what I'm looking for is a confirmation. So confirmation towards this swing low by the 1-hour. So this is going to be about a 5 to 10 minute 5 to 10 RR, because if we had to refine it here, we'd get a refined area. So we have a potential of earning 10 here, but right now I'm focusing on 5 because by this nice area here, this nicer area, we have that reaction, then push lower. And the reason I'm using confirmation is because we pushed right above this demand, this supply area, then pulled lower. If we had a reaction like this where we reacted in this supply area, so we had a push like this, the exact same movement, but we pushed lower, I would have looked for an entry supply demand. So this would have been my entry supply demand right here. This would have been my entry supply demand, but since we pushed higher, sweeping the liquidity above this supply area, I consider this a point of interest, not my entry. So we're just waiting for price to react from here, then push lower. And since this formed right after the liquidity sweep, and it was still below the swing low, this is a high probability supply area. So we'll be waiting for price action to retest, then pull lower. Then by Euro USD, I'm simply looking for continuation here. So we did react from this area. See, the Euro AUD and Euro USD, they're identical, but this one we reacted below this area, then pulled higher. But since this happened later on Friday, I couldn't take the entry because whenever we have that, we can gap up in the market, and that can take out 5% of our account instead of 1. So with that in mind, what I'm looking for is a tiny continuation. So if we can get maybe a continuation here, I'll look for a retest, then take price maybe to this demand or the extreme swing low. And the reason why I'm looking for this is because I don't see price retesting up. We do have this tiny imbalance here. So if we are patient, we'll just wait to see how price reacts from this zone. We could push higher, then pull back down, but I believe price can still react from here, because if we're to look closely, this order flow, usually the order flow is this candle here, but I'll mark it out with this one point smaller. This order flow has been retested, and I don't see a massive reason for price to massively shoot back up unless we sweep this low here. So if we sweep the liquidity below this low, then we get a massive push. So something like this, like a sweep of liquidity, then a massive push to the upside. This demand might be taken out. But if price just simply pushes down, reacts from here, then gives a confirmation, we can still look to take a trade here. And our target isn't that far, so we look for something like this. Maybe it stops above this supply, and then either aim for this demand area here or this extreme swing low. And this demand area is highly important because it's directly above the psychological level of 1.02000. So price can still respect this demand and then push higher and to form new highs. Because if I were to jump to the daily, by the daily, if I were to show you the candles that formed, you can see that by the psychological level, we had an evening star here. So if I were to just zoom out a bit and then zoom into this area right here, you can see that we had this candle. So if I just hide everything here, if we were to just look at the candles only, you can see that we had a push down with this evening star, pulled up with this doji, this flying dragon candle, then pulled back up. So since we had that reaction, I'm still looking for sales, right? But if price can respect this demand area that forms, so this demand area, during the formation of this evening star, price can definitely pull a reversal here. So this could be a valid reversal point. So from here, then we can look to take price to the upside. But as of right now, I did have a lot of confirmations telling me that we are still going to push lower towards these areas here. So towards this demand in this swing. So there's no reason for me to look for buys right now. But if we do get a confirmation that we're pushing higher, we can definitely look for that. And me personally, I would be looking for buy either if we respect this demand and have a massive push up, or we take out the 4-hour swing. Until then, I'm not really looking for buys. So that's it.